Education can be said to be effective if it translates to the development of the total man. Lagos State government is not only passionate about the education of its pupils and the capabilities of students turned out from its public primary and secondary schools, it is ready to stop at nothing in training and retraining its teachers in all cadres. Indeed, considering the level of decadence in the nation's education sector, there is an urgency to continuously build relevant capabilities and competencies in the 21st century education system. It is even more important to raise a new generation of teachers equipped with the necessary skills to bring out the best in the education system.
5 years on, the attendance has not waned. Rather, I venture to argue that it has improved, it has expanded, it is richer, for different. You might have heard commentaries about declining quality of public education today compared with the past. And let those words stay in your mind. Public education today and the past. The question I have asked myself, is this comparison correct? And it seems to me very, very debatable whether that comparison is correct, because the statistics and the numbers that I am aware of do not support that comparison. Is it true that there were public schools yesterday? The numbers do suggest that to me in the area of Lagos where I grew up. Is that at that period of prosperity and educational success, the schools were not run by government. They were run by the missions, by private sector. That really is it. What the government did was to regulate the schools. Set calendars, set the exams, manage the posting. So, this was the undertaking by private sector that government later took on. That was why it became a titanic challenge.
The objective, as I mentioned, is to enhance students' learning outcomes. And we do that in various ways. First of all, we provide directly to all the 637 schools what we call the School Development Grant. That is, we have moved away from the traditional way of disbursing money into a much more modern approach. And that modern approach is empowering the schools themselves to make decisions and to take account and be accountable to the learning that is going on in their schools. The funds go directly to them. They develop a plan, and then based on the plan is based on the school's need to enhance learning outcomes. And then based on that approved school improvement plan by the education districts, the money is dispersed to them and they implement what is inside their school improvement plan. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is that for us to be able to say we want to improve learning outcomes, it means that we must also develop the technical skills or the capacity of the teachers as well in the modern way of teaching and learning. So we also have a component where there's emphasis on training, retraining, and continuous professional development of our teachers. Then the other thing that we also have is that if we want to improve school, enhance students' learning or improve students' performance, it means that we also need to support our teachers. There are some teachers, there are some schools that have informed them that they don't have enough teachers in certain subject areas that we focus on, which is the English, maths, and science. So we've developed a volunteer teacher scheme. And that volunteer teacher scheme, we have about 750 volunteers, registered teachers, professional teachers who have come on board, and they are saying that instead of me being unemployed, being bored, and not contributing to the society, I will give back by working in the schools to supplement the teachers' efforts. So we have volunteers, and in fact, we've recently recorded that our volunteers have contributed about 20,000 teaching hours every month to teaching and learning in English, maths, science, and even some social skills as well.
Teaching is the most vital and strategic profession for national development. It makes possible the acquisition of knowledge and skills tailored to impart knowledge and groom individuals. Teaching is therefore seen and taken as a reputable profession which standards should not be compromised. Teachers are the foundation to getting to the top of any individual's profession because it is the teacher that produced the doctors, engineers, lawyers, governors, architects, and other professionals in society today. Whatever one is today, the teachers ought to be thanked for it. Teaching is noted and widely accepted as a noble profession because the responsibility entrusted to a teacher in terms of quality impartation of knowledge is a strong regulation for the profession. This is why current emphasis is on a certificate education as necessary foundation in addition to being registered as members of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. More importantly, the teacher as a person should possess the qualities expected of their students.
It's a wonderful thing that we're doing with regards to our teachers. We have the core money. If you know about the core money, most of that money is used to build the capacity of our teachers. And what is more, government itself has an agency called TEPO, who is in charge of capacity building for our teachers. And government is working on what we call competency framework, an opportunity for us to make our teachers professional. So that if you say you are a teacher, what competencies do you have? Do you have competence to train children in primary schools? Do you have competencies required to train children in secondary school? So we're going to do a sensitization of that next week so that everybody will know that our teachers must be professionally qualified. And when I mean professionally qualified, as teachers, what competencies do you have? ICT. If you're moving from grade level 7 to 8, what competencies must you have? If you're moving from 10 to 12, so we are designing and we are ensuring that these competencies are in alignment with the training that we're doing. So that's what we're doing consciously. And even other donor agencies are assisting us in building capacity of our teachers. Our teachers are going internationally. Many of them had gone to the UK this year. They had gone to US last year. They had gone to South Africa. They had gone to East Africa. We're going everywhere to see what is happening. How can we imbibe the best practices going on in those countries? And I can assure you for a fact that our teachers are doing well. And what is more, government has also built their capacity by giving them that eco money to intervene in their schools. They don't have to necessarily come to the Ministry of Education before they do basic things in their school. What that has done for them is to take ownership of their schools and to give them the ability to manage their schools, and they're doing it properly. So they are happy that they have ownership of their schools.
Because of the dynamic nature of teaching, training, retraining, and personal development of teachers is also critical to sustaining the education system. Therefore, the Lagos State government, because of its passion for quality teaching and desire to take the profession to the highest standard, has been carrying out rapid transformation and the retraining of teachers in its employ. This was done by providing teachers with quality trainings, giving basic teaching facilities such as teaching aids, provision of a conducive environment for teaching, and the organization of refresher courses.
This is how we have come to where we are. It has helped us to put not only money, but human resource back into the schools and a diversity of skills. It has helped to improve the learning environment. We now have better schools by a mile compared to when we started. The work is not finished. And I have had cause to engage in some argument lately about the condition of public schools. And for me, it must not be a destination, it is a journey. But what are we doing about those schools? As we are building new ones, we have developed a maintenance program for all our schools. There is now a standard template for fixing broken windows, broken chairs, bulbs, fans, and so on and so forth. And at our last meeting, we have given the tutors general and permanent secretaries the responsibility now to ensure that every teacher indexes in that form what is wrong in his or her classroom. And it must now go on to the school principal to collate and confirm and sign, and then it goes to the district, and then it comes to us in the Ministry of Works and outside. And we expect that as we go into this very critical curve, by the end of April to May of every year, we should have finished procurement planning, our contractors should be mobilized, and immediately the school breaks at the end of June or in July, the contractors can move in and within 6 to 8 weeks, replace all what is broken and damaged. Students can come back in September into new classrooms, refitted classrooms. Again, recently we just approved a pilot run now connecting all about 800 of our schools to the public water supply system. A solar panel being installed in our schools now in this age where the learning mode and the communication mode is changing. We have just finished a pilot internet connectivity to fiber optic and broadband in the Yaba area. And what that will mean is that the whole of Yaba, which is already now connected, will be switched on, and you will have a full broadband connected community. And out of about 34 institutions in that community, I'm proud to say that 25 are schools.
Recently, Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola's administration commenced another round of training for teachers in the state's public schools. These were 1,175 new staff employed into the state's teaching service by this administration. The training and induction program into the public service, organized by the State Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Public Service Staff Development Center, PSSDC, and the Teachers Establishment and Pensions Office, TEPO, is designed first to open their understanding of the new officers to the workings of the service, educate them on their roles in advancing the course of the teaching profession, and the expectation of the people from them.
State government has recently recruited, for the first time in a long time, almost 2,000 teachers. And in order to get them on the right footing, to ensure that they break into the education system properly, it was important that we give them the right platform to understand the school system in Lagos and to start right. And that's the reason why it was agreed that there was a need to centrally induct them so that they can start right.
Equally important is the expectation of the administration, which informed the employment of such a large number at the same time.
But when you enter an organization, induction is important, because part of what induction does is to expose you to the culture of the organization, the norms, the regulations, and the way we do things here, and the how we do things here. But in particular, this particular induction, we hope and we believe strongly that this intensive 5 days, the training will situate teaching as a reputable profession among all the recognized professions that would enable Lagos State achieve its vision. During this training, they will be exposed to the vision, the mission of Lagos, and their roles as teachers in the overarching vision of Lagos, especially as it relates to the 10-point agenda. And as you know, education is a critical part of that 10-point agenda.
For all intent and purposes, the training program would encourage and boost the morale of these officers who are still greenhorns in service. It will also help them tailor the professional knowledge acquired in school into existing structure or methods in practice.
To assist the new employees, the new teachers, to be able to apply the necessary tools that they require, for example, to keep school records. Keeping school records is a critical part of the functions of a good teacher. Also, we will be exposing them to ways, effective ways of managing the classroom. They will be exposed to classroom management, effective classroom management. Again, managing data is important because we need data to plan. Is data analysis, how you manage data, because overall we're going to do that data to plan for the education system. Another critical part of what they'll be exposed to is how to be creative, how to use instructional materials to teach, and how to help the students to learn. Because essentially, beyond teaching, it's about the ability of the teacher to help the student to learn. Also, they will be exposed to the history, the structure of governance in Lagos, so that they are well-rounded public servants. Indeed, there is a learning tour of our Lagos State Records and Archive Bureau, which has been inculcated into the program. And what that does is that it exposes our teachers to understand the history of Lagos, and they can also situate themselves. And in actual fact, at the end of it all, these new teachers see themselves as part of the public service. And that's a big gain from this program, because sometimes teachers do not see themselves as part of the public service. So with this program, they are properly inculcated into the public service, and there's a pride that will come with being a teacher. And I will not forget that there's a particular model which we call personal branding, and that elevates the teacher into a personal brand.
With a staggering statistics that puts the number of public schools and student population in the state as almost equal to that of Ghana as the country, it is a fact that the coming of this group and their orientation will boost the number of teaching workforce and reduce undue pressure on existing teachers. Apart from the induction program, training programs for different categories of school personnel on leadership, school administration, classroom management, and others were also regularly organized by the state government. Through the Train the Trainer workshops, over 2,000 teachers have been trained on information communication technology, ICT. Others have undergone various trainings meant to increase their ability to impact their pupils and students. The huge investment in human capacity development for school teachers will therefore translate into improved academic performance of the students. The state government has a thematic scope for its education sector in the broadened partnerships with the ECHO project, the Education Sector Support Program in Nigeria, SPIN, in our schools. There is also its participatory arrangement with the corporate organizations, individuals, NGOs through the Support Our Schools initiative, SOS, infrastructural enhancement, teacher welfare and motivation, strengthening of technical and vocational education, revival of implicit curriculum activities with the return of school clubs.
Thankfully, government itself has realized that this is not a one-man show. And therefore, some of those schools now have their schools back, Christian and the Muslim missions, but still, the challenge endures. Government in Lagos now has over 600 junior and senior secondary schools and over 1,000 primary schools. That is how big the responsibility. And so we have gone back to what worked yesterday, to invite the private sector to work with us to do what they have done before. This is the underlying philosophy and rationale behind Adopt to School.
The ECHO project is an intervention program designed to assist public schools in the provision of essential infrastructure or facilities needed for teaching and learning. It also saddles the school principal with the responsibility of day-to-day administration of the school by taking a near personal possession of his school. The ECHO project is also behind the annual Governor's Education Award program, through which public schools that perform creditably in their academic activities are appreciated. This engenders for healthy rivalry amongst senior secondary schools in the state. The State School Improvement Team, SSIT, another education improvement program, is an initiative of the United Kingdom DFID under its Education Sector Support Program in Nigeria, SPIN. It is a bold step designed to further drive positive change in schools and strengthen the operation of the free universal basic education program in the state. The objective of the Lagos State School Improvement Program is to bring about desired positive change in the primary and secondary school system as a result of the gap found in the leadership style of head teachers, the method of teaching, and how children learn, amongst other factors. Under the SSIT, the School-Based Management Committee, the SBMC, was established for it to be involved in management of schools and the support for head teachers in school improvement, their training, and the implementation of school administration. In addition, the committee brings together members of the community, the young, the middle class, the old, as well as stakeholders in the education sector for the progress of the schools. With the establishment of the Quality Assurance Department, Governor Babatunde Fashola's administration wants to ensure that education attains a high standard and retains that desired quality. The department sets standards for schools, monitors and evaluates the standards, and ensures that they are met. It also makes suggestions for improvement in our schools.
For Director General Quality Assurance Office. That office is supposed to replace the inspectorate departments in all our sectors. That office will now do all this monitoring we are talking about. School administration, teachers' assessments, all the things that inspectorates used to do. As you know the name, quality assurance. What is that type of lecture or subject or teaching a teacher is given? What is it that a principal is supposed to do in the school is not doing? What is it that our administrators at the district level are doing they're not supposed to be doing? Or do, or not doing, and they're supposed to be doing? That office will take charge of it, and it will be fully staffed and empowered to do what it's supposed to do.
These are just a few of the various means the state government has put in place to improve the standard of education and the productivity of students, as well as our teachers, head teachers, vice principals, and the principals.
It has been real wow. I came prepared because I've been hands-on with my other colleagues that have been coming say, how has the program been? And when I came, what I saw, I was highly impressed because it actually brought out, the zeal in us, you understand, in the area of taking teaching as a professional job, that we shouldn't see it as if, it has really make a difference in my life, especially from the first day where we are enlightening on how to rebrand ourselves, add value, that when we go out there to the students to go and teach, we should be full of expectation, you understand, how we can best, teach and teaching and learning process to be harmonized.
I've really gained a lot, and I want to believe that the knowledge that I've actually gathered here will be useful to the people out there. And I really want to say this, that even Lagos State is beginning to see a revolution in teaching as a profession now. And I think that we are going to do when we get back there.
It's a very nice one, and I think more of it should be encouraged and organized. So because it's more of like a reorientation. We had a kind of mindset while we were coming in, and on getting into this induction program, I guess our whole impression about the old teaching service changed totally, I can confess.
The state has invested so much in ensuring that the standard of education improves, and the only solution expected is that our teachers rebrand themselves, build personal self-esteem, develop themselves to attain greatness, prepare effective lesson plans, present teaching sessions effectively and efficiently, using proper classroom management and instructional materials for effective teaching, manage school records, and finally, make sure the students pass in high grades.
Another 5 years, of course, our students will be the beneficiary of a better tutored, better trained teacher in Lagos State. So I'm expecting that our teachers really be on top of their acts.
As they return to classes, There is no doubt that these teachers are fired up with passion and zeal for the profession, ready to contribute their quota to the development and growth of the state. This is the hope we have, and the confidence that there is hope for the state's education system.